Hello and welcome to Basel Tov, the courage and creativity of ADHD. This is Jen.
I'm Ellen.
And I'm Annette.
And we're coming at you with some more ADHD info. So last night we kind of broached this topic a little bit in passing. This is going to be a talk about sleep and why we don't get it. So if you have trouble sleeping, like probably most of us do, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like literally all of us, just sit on down, grab a mug of calming tea, and we'll tell you all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or commiserate.
Or commiserate. Oh, yeah, seriously. Because, like, sleep is hard. I've always found sleep to be difficult. What about you guys?
For me, it's so boring. I know I've ranted about this before, but just boring, mundane bodily functions that you have to do all the time. Like, what is the deal with that? Every night? Really? We need to sleep every night for 8 hours. That's so much time that you could be doing things that you enjoy. You could be doing interesting things when it's dark and quiet and everyone else is asleep.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, except I love sleep. I feel like it's just like a warm blanket. It's wonderful. But I do agree that there are better things I could be doing.
Yeah, there are better things. Like if we could just take a pill, like I think it was Annette who said if she could just take a pill and never have to eat and waste that time, she would do it. And
Hell yeah.
I'm one of those that if I could just take a pill and never have to sleep, I would do that. I totally would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never.
Yeah, so sleep to you is like how food is to me. It brings me joy.
Oh, maybe.
Sleep brings
me
joy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nothing better than like climbing into my nice warm bed and just being like, it's like my favorite place in the world.
I mean, I like that too, but then I like to stay up and scroll on Reddit and read everything.
I know. It's a real struggle because I feel like I could go either way on this one, where sometimes I just really love the warm bed and I'm so tired. And that, that's starting to happen a little bit more. Like I feel like I'm getting a more natural circadian rhythm. And like I didn't feel like I used to really have that going on. So sleep was hard. And I was just like, you know what? Why is this even worthwhile?
Is that a round of applause for nootropics there?
It is. Yeah, I think so, because it seems like things are kind of dialing down, and I've been experimenting with this more and more over time, and I added more nootropics to my stack.
Ooh.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited. And I feel like that between the nootropics and our mystery testing object that all three of us have been testing and we'll tell you in an episode later. Dun, dun, dun.
The mystery testing object. Yeah.
The mystery testing. We're testing
Your mind
a
can
mystery
go so
object.
many places.
Yeah, I know, right? Especially considering the objects that have appeared on this podcast before.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen next.
Nothing to do with, of course. So, people with ADHD do not sleep well statistically. I mean, and the numbers are pretty horrendous. I'm not going to lie. And we kind of get the shitty end of the sleep stick for several reasons. Some of it's because of stuff that we do to ourselves. And some of it is just, neurology. Again, thanks, neurology. Yay. So there are a few, probably dozen ways that we could lose sleep, but I've kind of, I have a short list here. Annette's got way more info than I do, so this will be fun. But first I want to talk about bullshit that we can do just out of our own negligence, or I don't know, maybe self-loathing even, that prevents us from getting all of the wonderful quality sleep that we need. So
yeah, how do we self-sabotage all the time?
Yep, self-sabotage. I mean, it might be self-sabotage on some level, but on another level it's just kind of like shit that we do because we can't help it. So the very first and foremost thing that I think a lot of people harp on, therapists and sleep hygienists and doctors, is a lack of bedtime routine. Oops, time management. We don't
Yeah, we
exactly
suck at
have
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you have an actual bedtime routine that you do every single day?
I mean,
Yeah.
there are a few
Huh?
things that I do every single day. Yeah, for sure. But
Mhm.
I've got like a 15-minute routine, and I've got a 5-minute routine, and I've got a 30-second routine, depending on my mood,
Might
So,
switch it up out of
yeah.
Yeah.
convenience.
Yeah, I gave a very confident, like, yes, I do. But the only reason that I do is because I have school age children that I have to get to bed and then wake up early with in the morning. And so it's
Mhm.
become a routine because we do it every day. And
Yeah, that's just part of your routine.
the only day that I don't get that done is on Wednesday because I'm working until 9 o'clock and they have to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
So the only day, and that's also the day that I edit and post up this podcast. So
Oh, yeah.
usually it's like 11 o'clock, just right before posting time that I'm getting it done. And so Wednesday is the only day of week where that routine goes out of the window. And
Mm.
but for the rest of the time, it's every day the same thing. So I do feel like I have a routine. Now, when my children are old enough to put themselves to bed and do everything by themselves, we'll see.
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't have
Yep.
a lot of faith.
So, do you go to bed the same time they do usually?
Yeah, because I have to wake up so early. And
Mm-hmm.
I have to use bounds of energy all day. And usually I can sleep like a good 8 hour block. But recently, since life has been hectic and, it's that time of year for me, as I've mentioned in the podcast several times, I've been doing this lovely thing where I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then my brain starts listing off all the things I need to do.
Oh,
Oh,
that's fun.
Yeah, and then I can't go back to sleep. Sometimes I can go back to
yeah.
sleep, but it takes me like 2 or 3 hours to get back to sleep, and then I fall asleep for like an hour, and then I have to get up. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Man,
it's
that's rough.
lovely.
I've kind of swung back and forth on having a nighttime routine because for the past couple of years, actually more than just a couple, because this has been a part-time adventure, but I've been, doing a grad school. I've been doing the grad school experience and trying to get a higher degree. So I've had spans of time where I've had to, take advantage of the time after dark to get shit done because all the other things needed to happen during the day. But now within the past like 6 7 8 months, I've had to switch to doing everything during the daytime for that. Excuse me. And then getting other stuff done for the rest of the night and the morning and whatever. So like there's like a section of the middle of my day that I'll work on it instead of at nighttime, which is really hard because like I used to have everything like my creative flow is at nighttime. It always has been at nighttime, and I feel like I'm just blatantly disregarding that. So
It's like
um
fighting your natural instinct. Like
it
yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I want to create at night. My brain starts turning on and chatting and going, oh my gosh, yeah. As I've been using the nootropics, I've started to get more tired. So I'll go to bed closer to when everybody else goes to bed, like a lot closer to when else goes to bed. And then during the daytime, I feel like I can actually force creativity a lot better than I had been able to before. Um, Previously I didn't feel like I could force it at all. So I was very much at the whim of my attention span in that regard. And now I feel like my attention span is getting quite a bit longer and I have more mental resources to cope with creativity during the day. So I'm starting to
That's
That's
get a bedtime
awesome.
interesting.
routine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also feel more creative in the evenings than I do during the day. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there you
And I
go.
think there's a reason for that, isn't there, Nettie?
There is a reason for that.
There is a reason.
There is a reason. And I think a lot of our listeners who have ADHD will also agree that probably the majority of you guys also tend to be night owls and feel more productive in the evening and get things done in the evening. there is both a biological reason as well as a behavioral reason that we do that. The behavioral reason we do that is because throughout the day we are unable to focus, we're unable to really pay our attentions, and so in the evening when we get a rush of energy, because our circadian rhythms tend to be quite different than normal, neurotypical people. So when you're feeling more energy in the evening, that's when you tend to get the bulk of whatever you're going to get done, and that creates a behavioral setting. So this is my normal circadian rhythm, and then you behave and produce whatever you need to in that amount of time when you should be sleeping, as opposed to everybody else. But the problem and the reason that our circadian rhythms get turned off is, one, because our sleeping cycles are slightly different than neurotypical people. In people with ADHD, there's been studies on both sides showing that some get too few REM sleep cycles. So the normal REM sleep cycle has 4 REM. Like, normal sleep cycle, one night sleep cycle, is you hit REM 4 times. And so there's been studies that show that people with ADHD either underperform, like get less REM cycles of sleep, or they overperform and they get more than 4.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so it's on either end of the fence. And so you're not getting the proper biological sleep pattern, which means that you're not producing hormones like melatonin and serotonin in the same way as a neurotypical person. And so waking up early in the morning and exposing yourself to bright light doesn't kind of do the same thing for us. It's kind of like, wow, it's
Right.
bright. That's nice. I'm still going to stay up till 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. You can
Right.
wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the
Mhm.
morning and be up and hike. I've climbed mountains, and then I'm so tired at like 6 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted, but that's not a normal time to sleep. And then once it gets to about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, when you're supposed to go to bed, it's like, boom, there's the energy.
Yeah, you
Yep.
get that second wind.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember when I was younger and definitely unmedicated, I felt like I could sleep at any time of day, whenever I was tired, just randomly, like maybe sleep through the daytime, sleep through the nighttime. It didn't necessarily matter, just as long as I felt tired in that moment. And I could probably sleep, just on the bare ass cold floor. Um, it's just so like I felt like I had no kind of circadian rhythm, and I had, terrible trouble trying to sleep on a regular schedule.
Oh,
What about
interesting.
you, Ellen, when you were young?
Gosh, I don't know. My memory is so bad. But I remember in high school anyway, wanting to stay up late all the time. And I hated the fact that school started so early. It was like, 7 a.m. or something like that. And I mean, but isn't it true that teenagers kind of naturally like to sleep in and stay up later? Anyway, I guess I just never grew out of that.
Yeah, there's a human biological reason for the reason that people at different age stages wake or don't wake, and a lot of it has to do with protecting the herd, because somebody had to have been awake during
Oh,
certain times of the day.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never heard of that
Yeah.
one.
So my
Yeah.
ideal sleep schedule, I think, would be if I had to go to bed at the same time every day. I think I would probably want to stay up until like midnight or 1 a.m. and then sleep in until like 8 or 9. But
Yeah.
that's not really doable necessarily all the time, especially when you
No,
have obligations.
I can
Yeah.
stay up easily till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then sleep in till like noon if I wanted to, but that's just not
Same.
how my obligations lie out either.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so
Every once in a
nice that
while I'll go on a bender
oh
like that, where
yeah.
I'll stay up real late and then try
It's so
to sleep
quiet at
in.
night, it's dark, nobody's bothering you, as a mom,
Mhm.
it's nice to have a quiet house, nobody needs
Oh
you,
yeah.
that's that revenge bedtime procrastination right there.
Yes, it is. And that was one of the other things that, that keeps ADHD people from sleeping at night is the
Yes.
revenge bedtime procrastination, which is when you stay up because out of some misguided idea that you deserve the time, the quiet, serene time with no people around you, like, "Oh, I deserve to have a little break," or "Let me
We
play a
do
game
deserve
because
it,
I
damn
worked
it.
hard all." Yeah, I worked hard all day. I worked hard, I did all my adulting during the daytime. Now I wanna screw off and I wanna play games, or I wanna, do
Mhm.
my other hobbies, maybe create some art, maybe write a story, maybe read a book, or
Right.
whatever it might be.
Something interesting. Yeah, something fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot
But
of us, it's social media too.
yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, something mindless and entertaining too, for sure. But then you're taking away from your sleep, and stupid, boring
Mhm.
sleep is so necessary. Why? Why hasn't science
Dang it.
fixed this yet?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I
But
don't know.
even though I have a routine, it's like my routine goes against everything that like my body naturally does. So when I go on tour, I always
Mhm.
end up reverting to my natural sleep patterns. And it's
Well,
Oh
yeah,
so
gosh.
hard when
you
I
guys
go
probably stay
home.
up late though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
are the shows in the evening?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's
so it works
like
out well for you.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
when I have the most energy anyway. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. But then
Yay.
I go back home after and it's just like and I'm just exhausted and
No
so
good.
Yep.
No
It's
good.
really, really hard when you have to fit into another mold and wake up at 6 a.m. and bleh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I used to
So what
love
else?
working swing shift jobs for this reason, because earlier on
Oh,
in my working life, I was working swing shift jobs and I liked that a lot better because I never had to wake up early. On my days off, I could totally screw around as late as I wanted to. I could still
that's a good
sleep
point.
in and it didn't throw off my sleep schedule at all. Like, swing shift life is my life. So,
And
Like
then you
swing
have
life.
kids.
and then I had kids.
Yeah,
Uh,
that kind of puts a damper on your schedule just a little bit.
Yeah, just a
yeah,
little.
yeah.
Not a big
I
deal.
mean, you gotta love them, but waking up at like the ass crack of dawn to get your children ready for school and listen
Yeah.
to them argue at you and listen to them whine and complain about how hard it is and like how they don't want to go before you've even had like a drop of coffee for the day or
Oh,
anything like that. Just
and let's
nope.
not forget the baby phase where they're not sleeping.
Yeah.
They're just crying all the time. Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
we didn't get more than a couple hours of sleep at a time in those days. It's rough.
Mm-mm. No,
That's
that was pretty
maybe
rough.
why I cherish my sleep so much now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
Uh,
good point. Not always guaranteed. Um,
Mhm. Yeah,
another reason
I did feel like I took it for granted until I became a mom,
oh,
and then I was like,
yeah.
"Oh god."
yeah. Now I really need to sleep when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason that we, as ADHD people, may not get enough sleep, this could either be like something that you do voluntarily or something that you have to do. So, kind of both ways here. Is that we tend to take too many stimulants during the day. So, caffeine is a stimulant. A lot of us are familiar with coffee and soft drinks and tea and every other caffeinated beverage under the sun because we just gravitate toward it. Nicotine is a stimulant. Many people with ADHD smoke, which we had also discussed in a previous episode on addictions. Um, and also, to make matters even worse, many of us take stimulants for medication to control ADHD in the
Mhm.
first place. What?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because stimulants don't do for us what it does for normal people. It just helps
right,
us to focus.
right. But just like there are some of us who could drink an entire carafe of coffee and then go straight to sleep afterward, there are also people who still have ADHD who find that stimulants will keep them up a little
Mhm.
later. Not it's not like you're buzzing with energy, but you're just not sleepy is all.
Well, you also have to remember that when you take stimulants, it changes your sleeping pattern. So even if you can fall asleep, you're not getting quality sleep because it is
Mm,
actually changing your sleep cycle. And the same
Yeah.
is true for alcohol. People who drink alcohol before they go to bed, it's easier to fall asleep, but it's much harder to stay in deep sleep, and because it affects your sleep cycle. And so that's
Mm.
something to take into consideration if you're drinking alcohol in the evening. It's
Yeah.
going to affect your sleep.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing that. Yeah, and I've noticed when I take Ritalin, especially if I take it a little later in the day, it'll definitely keep me awake. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah, but it
had
doesn't
the
give you
same
that nervous
experience.
energy. Like, it doesn't give you the energy that coffee
No.
does. It just kind of like makes you alert and focus. And so it's like,
Yeah.
it's such a different feeling for us, like non-neurotypical people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
it
on those days,
is.
I'm just like, I should be tired, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can totally relate. I used to take Adderall for my ADHD, and now I'm on Strattera, which is a non-stimulant medication.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was on Adderall, I did not feel energized by it at all. In fact, I often felt the opposite, like it was, kind of
Mm.
suppressing a lot of my natural energy. And I felt a little bit more robotic as well, probably
Probably
why I
because
was
you're
okay with
mixed.
switching. Because I'm mixed, yeah. I'm the combined type. It's real hard to medicate the combined type. Um, or it seems like
Mm-hmm.
it to me anyway. I don't know if that's a real medical fact, but it seems like it for me. And usually that sort of thing runs in families, and I've noticed that other family members have struggled to medicate their ADHD appropriately, or to the extent that they wanted it to be medicated. Um, but yeah, so since we're taking stimulants, and since we're taking on extra stimulants, and then some of us take things like B vitamins and nootropics and other things that can keep you awake and feeling that alert energy, and oh my gosh, we're so excited for life, and why do we need to sleep? Yeah, it can be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing that can keep people up, and Annette kind of glossed over this already, is anxiety, depression, and other ADHD comorbidities, again, which we've discussed in a previous thing on comorbidities. But yeah, so if you have anxiety, you're probably not going to drift right off to sleep so
Oh, or
gently.
you do, and then you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start
Yeah.
making a list of all the things you need to do.
Yep, just like Annette does. And and I mean, I have kind of my weird shifts where I'll be like more anxious feeling and or more depressive feeling, but I don't feel like I have either of those comorbidities currently. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I have more anxious times, I can totally relate with Annette. The whole like waking up in the middle of the night in your sleep cycle, and you're just like, all of a sudden your brain turns on and you're like, wait, didn't you forget that one thing you had to do for your kids before they go to school tomorrow morning? And then you freak out. Good luck
Mm-hmm.
going back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever have that happen. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm
I
so
know.
jealous.
No, my my brain it doesn't have the survival instincts that yours do to kick in and remind me of these things. It's I need a little more of
Mm,
that.
No, I don't think it's survival instincts. I think my brain is just an asshole.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
I thankfully have always like been able to just kind of fall asleep pretty easily. I'm not sitting there just thinking about things really. Like usually I'm just like but I don't know. I sometimes will just end up staying up too late, like to the point where I'm just exhausted and I'm too tired to even
Mm,
get ready for bed, So that's not really good either.
So,
true.
a question I have for you is,
Hmm.
because you're not able to fall asleep very quickly, do you do other things in your room except sleep?
Wait, you're asking me?
Like, yeah.
No, I do fall asleep quickly.
Oh, you do fall asleep quickly. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because you were
sorry.
talking about doom scrolling.
Oh, well, okay, let me put it this way. Once I'm devoted to, okay, it's time to fall asleep, I'm out in
Oh, okay.
within minutes. Yeah. But the temptation to stay up and keep doing things, which if I'm feeling tired, yeah, I'll be in bed on my phone, but sometimes it'll be, working on a project or watching TV or anything where it's just like, I know I need sleep, but this thing I'm doing right now is fun and I don't want to stop.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Um,
think that's a problem for a lot of people, especially having your phone right next to your bed like everybody
phones have
does.
made it so it's impossible to escape it. Yeah. It's like,
And
ugh.
blue light, that doesn't
Mm,
Yeah.
help you sleep.
Exactly. I mean,
no.
I know they have like you can adjust the brightness on your phone and they have like the nighttime setting. Isn't that supposed to
Yeah,
help eliminate blue light?
I actually have a screen on my phone. It's like this hard screen. I don't know if
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
YouTube if you could
It's a
see it.
blue
Yeah,
light screen.
it's a blue light filter. So
Oh, that's dope.
yeah,
Nice.
I
Yeah.
got it at the 100 yen shop.
Nice.
Yay! That's excellent. I
Yeah. Oh
have
yeah, it
just
was
blue light filters in my glasses, so, off if
Oh.
I'm on the phone, I got my glasses on because I gotta read things, and so,
Oh
it
good. That
works that way.
helps then.
Yeah, I don't wear
Mhm.
Yeah,
glasses, so
yeah, exactly. Dun, dun,
So
dun.
what else was on that list?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Or did
yeah.
you already get through
So
it?
no. No, I didn't, but, rabbit holes,
We love
it's
them.
like my life. Yeah. So, aside from things like comorbidities and, stuff that we've done willingly to ourselves, um, people with ADHD tend to have more sleep disorders than other
Mm.
general people do. So, one of those things could be a circadian rhythm disorder.
Mhm.
Excuse me. So like that's when your natural sleep cycle, the chemicals in your brain that tell you it's sleepy time, they don't work properly. They just kind of show up out of nowhere, or maybe they don't exist. And you might have to take a supplement like melatonin to help regulate that for you.
Mm.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
and like we said last week, more melatonin is not necessarily the best. You got to
Yeah.
find that magic amount that, gets you to where you need to go. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
so, you know,
Like I can't take any more than 5 milligrams of melatonin or I will be wrecked the next day. I will not want to get up.
yeah, so you might want to try a lower dose.
I take
Yeah.
3. Mhm. Oh, so what other sleep disorders are on there?
Well, there's sleep apnea, something that I
Oh,
have,
yes.
and
Yep,
I
I've got
I
that
know
too.
Ellen has too.
Yay.
Sleep apnea is when, for a couple of different reasons, potentially, you could stop breathing in the middle of the night. Apnea just is like a pause in your breathing. So, people with sleep apnea, adults with sleep apnea, usually have their apneas for one of two reasons. One is called central sleep apnea, where your central nervous system fails to regulate your breathing and you stop breathing because your brain doesn't tell you to.
That's the one I have.
So
That's what my
yeah,
brain does. Yep, it's great.
that one's more rare.
Your
That's
brain
not
is
as
just trying to
common.
kill you.
I know. What a
Um,
bastard.
I know, seriously,
See,
what
I
is
told you,
this?
our brains are assholes.
Yeah.
Ah, they
M
are.
My brain's with the program. It's just that I have something called obstructive sleep apnea, which is where, for a couple different reasons, people have their throat close while they're sleeping.
So your throat is the asshole.
My throat is the
Oh.
asshole. So, yes,
Mhm.
in the AITA section of Reddit, my throat is listed there. So, exactly, Jen's throat.
With a picture of my brain and Ellen's brain.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's how we are. So, 25% of people with ADHD have sleep apnea, like either
Wow.
kind of sleep apnea. So, a full quarter of us could have this
Dang.
going on.
Do you know what the general population?
General population is 3%.
Dang. Okay, so
Whoa.
I don't think I ever would have had mine caught if I hadn't started snoring. And so I think I got diagnosed in like like 2015 maybe. And
Oh, wow.
I'd gained some weight after having kids, and so I'd started snoring. And my ex, he wanted me to go get it checked out, get
Mhm.
a sleep study. And so I
Mhm.
did. And they told me at the sleep study, they were like, well, the obstruction isn't really a concern, but you've got central sleep apnea, which is like what you were saying.
Ooh.
Your brain
Yeah.
forgets that you need to breathe at night. And so I was getting like, God, I mean, I can't even remember the numbers, but it was bad. Like, if I hadn't got
Mhm.
this figured out, it could have knocked years off my lifespan because your brain's just not
Mhm.
getting the oxygen it needs.
That is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most ADHD thing to have. My brain fucking forgets to breathe.
It's so true.
It's so true.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God, it is.
gosh.
It's pretty on brand for me. Yeah, yeah. So they set me up with a CPAP, and I wear that. It's like a little nasal pillow mask, and it was definitely hard to get used to at first, but
Mhm.
now it's just like it's part of my routine. I think it's another thing that just helps me get in the mode to fall asleep. It's like I gotta put that thing on my face, and I notice a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
difference. Like, if I fell asleep on the couch and wake up, didn't have my CPAP on, or sometimes I'll fall asleep, and forget to put it on at night. I can still tell a big difference in the morning. So I'm very
Oh my
Wow.
thankful I got
goodness.
that caught. Yeah.
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 Same here because I mean, I had been snoring for a really long time and always just chalked it up to having either allergies or like, something else going on. My family, there was one point at which I had gained a lot of weight because I had PCOS and it was not diagnosed. So I had endocrine issues and, you know, that caused rapid weight gain. And so my family was like, "Oh yeah, of course you'd be snoring. You're fat." So
Mhm.
yeah, I know. So that didn't exactly help me want to look into it. I was just kind of like, "Oh, great, cool."
Yeah, I
But
would just be like, "Fuck
um
you." Mhm.
Yeah.
eventually, right? Eventually, I got to the point where I was getting such crappy sleep and I couldn't tell. I didn't know why I would go to sleep every single night and I would get like sometimes 10 hours of sleep and I would be exhausted, like to the
Ugh.
point of tears during the day.
Mm.
So finally I talked to a doctor and they said you should go to a sleep study. So I did. Found out I have obstructive sleep apnea and that it is not actually linked with my weight, that it is genetic and that
Oh.
it was not linked with my weight at all. I asked if that was the case and they literally laughed because they're like, no, you're nowhere near the weight that you would need to be to have obstructive sleep apnea because of your weight. So
Oh,
I was like, oh,
interesting.
okay. I guess that's for people who generally, and this is a very general like thing here, they need to be like, up over like probably 400 pounds at that point. That's when,
Oh.
like when you're up over 400 pounds, you have to start worrying about your weight being the cause of sleep apnea. I was told that I had borderline severe sleep apnea, obstructive, because um, my throat, the muscles in my throat will close down. Like my throat closes because my muscles relax too much, like way too much. So basically,
Mm.
my throat just flattens. Like, if you pinch a straw, basically that's what's happening inside of my throat at night
Oh.
Mm.
And
because
then
the
you can't
muscles just
breathe.
and then
No.
I can't breathe because my muscles
Oh.
relax like all the way. They're not supposed to. Like there's part of your and this is probably like underlying neurological in some way, I would guess, because your muscles are normally prompted to stay open, to stay tense enough to open your throat,
Hmm.
but mine don't do that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't have sleep apnea at all. I don't
Hey,
snore.
yay.
I
That's
like
good.
when I sleep, I sleep well. But I
Mhm.
am married to somebody who definitely has sleep apnea, who will not go to the doctor and get it tested, and so um, my sleep disruptions are not from me having sleep apnea, but from him having sleep apnea, and so I wear these like silicone. I have to wear these silicone like moldable earplugs to even sleep, like. Which is cool because it like my house is full of people and like there's
Bro,
sounds
I'm sorry.
everywhere.
He needs to go to a doctor. I
I
mean, come
know, because he's
on.
gonna die early. I keep telling him
Yes,
that.
like this is serious stuff. Yeah.
He drinks
Get
like
his
a fish.
ass to the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, he drinks like a fish, and he definitely has sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea can shorten your life because it causes heart issues. So
Yeah,
that too.
so and like
and he's a drinker, like a pretty heavy drinker too. So
oh yeah, so that's another cause for concern for cardiac issues.
Yeah, but every time I say you should go to the doctor and get that checked out, he goes, "It's okay. If I die, the house is paid for."
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that's dark.
Dang. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you can't force him to go, but
No.
I just,
But like,
it worries
yeah,
me.
it
Also,
worries
the fact
me
that you
too.
have to live with that snoring too,
It's so bad. There's been times where I'm like, dude, I can't even today. I'm so tired, and I know you're gonna wake me up. So go sleep in the other room.
I don't blame you. Yeah, it's such an easy solution for him to get a sleep study, I mean, well, it's a lot of steps actually.
Yeah,
he'll never do a CPAP though. Like,
a lot of people have a negative opinion about CPAP machines, but I am so thankful for mine. They are. They're the new sexy. They are. They're super.
So hot. So hot right now.
Yeah, super hot.
I'd still have to wear
that.
I would still have to wear the earplugs though, because the sounds of the machine going.
No, the machines are quiet now. They're great.
They're quiet now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're so quiet.
They made them really super quiet. So like I remember when I got mine, I was like, it's okay if you like, do you need earplugs, do you think, to my husband? And he also needs to get checked out for sleep apnea. Because so he was, like, well, we'll see how it goes and we'll see if it's a problem. I thought it was going to be really loud because I mean, I've heard people complain about how loud their CPAP machines are, how difficult they are to sleep with. And I mean, I found that it was super quiet. I had zero problems. In fact, like the whooshing sound that it does make, it's kind of whispery and it is almost kind of calming because it's like another source of white noise.
Yeah, I know. I kind of like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
really awesome.
Older CPAPs must have been really annoying, but modern day CPAPs, yeah,
they're
good shit.
Super good. So if you're worried about how loud it's going to be, don't worry about that. If you're worried about wearing a giant mask, they have options. Not everybody needs a full face mask.
Oh yeah. The one I have is just 2 tiny little nasal pillows that stick in your nose. It's not like a giant strap-on thing. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. I got the nasal pillows, and people who don't open their mouths when they sleep can have those. So like I also ended up investing in a fuller face one, but it cuts off like a pillow and then just goes over your mouth. So it's actually really small still, even though it's considered a full face mask, and I just use it for allergy season.
My husband sleeps with his mouth open like a fish, so I bet he needs
full face.
Oh.
So aside from
sexy.
Oh yeah. Well,
how do you role play that one?
I have no idea.
Slap me with your mask, Daddy.
Yes.
I know, right? That's kind of how people would assume it is, but it's actually not that bad anymore. So I think the majority of people could probably get away with a very slimline situation. But there are people who do sleep with their mouths wide open, and they'll need to have whatever mask fits their faces. And just the amount of sleep that you gain after doing that, and the amount of restful hours that you have during the day, like it's worth
amazing.
it 100%.
It's literally been a lifesaver for me. A game changer. Yeah.
Same.
That's
And
awesome.
both of us have the kind of sleep apnea that could shorten our lifespans dramatically. So it's good that we got it
Yeah.
checked out.
Ellen could just die in her sleep. That's scary.
Oh.
Technically I could too
We
if
don't
I don't
know.
have mine.
I know.
Yeah.
We don't know what my brain is capable of doing.
Well, but I just forgive me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I feel like there's a cognitive difference when your brain is awake and you're like, if your throat collapses, your brain kind of goes, oh shit. And that's kind of why you wake up and you go do the, right? But hers is actually forgetting to even breathe. So how is it going to wake her up to go, dude, you're not breathing when it's not even telling itself to breathe?
I have a lazy brain. I told you it's a limp dick brain. Yeah. It doesn't even want to fucking breathe. I mean, doesn't it want to live?
Right. I don't know. I mean, maybe it has a secret agenda.
Shit.
Oh man. It was caused by 5G and Chinese hover planes.
There you go.
Another sleep issue, sleep disorder that ADHD people get more commonly. In fact, 44% of people with ADHD have this one, as opposed to 3% of the general population, once again, is restless leg syndrome.
Oh, yes.
I've never
Annette's
had
friend.
that.
Neither have I.
You don't want it.
Isn't that isn't there like an old wives' tale that you're supposed to put a bar of Irish Spring soap under your bed at the end of your bed to cure restless leg syndrome? I'm not making this up, I swear to God.
Garbage science. Here it is. We found a way.
There's garbage science in this episode. Yeah. I mean, delete this if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I don't think that would be a thing.
Right. You wouldn't think, but it's something people swear by. Put a bar of Irish Spring soap at the end of your bed, like under the sheets, I think, like at the edge of your bed, like by your feet. And then you won't have restless leg syndrome. Yeah.
You know, we've got to have an episode sometime where we test all the bullshit science that we've talked about.
I'm going to test this bullshit science. I just need a bar of Irish Spring.
How
I can't
often
get
do
that
you
here?
Yeah, can you get that in Japan?
Dang it.
How often do you experience it? How often do you get restless leg syndrome?
It depends. There's times where like I would be getting it every day for a period of time, and then there's like I go time like leaps of time where I haven't had it. I probably haven't had it for a couple months now. But
What
usually
causes
what I
it?
do when it's neurological signals.
Huh. Yeah.
You know, but what I usually do, sometimes when your muscles are too tight, you can be more prone to it. So like a lot of times when I'm having the issue and I'll like stand up and stretch for like a couple minutes and then I'll go back to bed, and it usually helps. But sometimes I get restless legs when I'm watching a movie or something. It's like part of it has maybe a tie to anxiety. I'm not sure, but like if I'm really tired, I tend to have it more.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks, because that's when you need the sleep the most, and then your body is just messing with you.
Asshole legs.
Asshole legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dang it.
And the shitty thing with restless leg syndrome is like you have to move your legs. Like it's not like you don't even understand. It's like it's like this intense torture.
Yeah.
If you don't move your legs.
The urge.
I feel like I have something similar to that during the daytime. It never happens at night.
You can have restless legs during the day.
Really? I thought it was only a sleep thing.
No.
Oh, mine literally never happens at night. It doesn't happen at night, but during the daytime, like, I mean, if anybody who watches our YouTube channel notices me just kind of like moving all around and everything, it's because like I cannot stop moving my legs. I just can't. Like sometimes you get like I don't know, it feels almost like a stretch, like, or some kind of muscle ache that you just need to work
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so I guess that's what it is then. I guess I have that too. Or maybe I have something very similar to it, or maybe borderline. But yeah, I get that
Yeah.
during the day.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
get it at night, it sucks because then it's really hard to sleep when you have to move your legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
You know what's weird?
Yeah.
That in order to sleep, you have to pretend to be asleep. Think about
Oh.
That is the most epic shower thought.
it. That's how we fall asleep, by pretending to sleep.
Damn, dude.
Yep.
You broke my
I got
brain.
nothing.
So that's what, when my kids have trouble falling asleep, I'm like, just pretend you're sleeping. That's what you have to do anyway. Close your eyes and
Oh my gosh. Oh my
It's
gosh.
so true, though.
Sleep is so weird.
Aside from sleep apnea and restless leg syndrome, something that people with ADHD have in spades. 67% of us have this one.
Woo,
It's
just going up.
insomnia. It's insomnia.
Yeah. Insomnia. Okay, what is that exactly? What does that mean?
It's like insomnia. You know the darkness is the light.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know, right? Like, so insomnia is basically just when you can't sleep, but it's not just that you can't sleep randomly, like something upset you and you can't sleep one night, or, maybe the dog was barking and you woke up. Ah, darn it. It's something totally different where you try to go to bed, you try to go to sleep, and you either feel tired but cannot physically make yourself go to sleep in any, like, even if you put on the sleep mask, even if you do all the other things, like sometimes you're exhausted and cannot fall asleep, or you might not even get tired at all. And then other times people will have trouble with waking up in the middle of the night randomly and then not being able to go back to sleep after that.
What?
Or you can have it both
Nobody
ways.
has
And
that
then
problem. What are you talking
no,
about?
nobody has that problem.
Yeah.
I used to have that problem a lot more in my earlier years, especially as a kid and up until probably my 30s. I had huge problems with insomnia. They were worse in my early to mid 20s, or like my mid 20s back through childhood. That was the period where I felt like my insomnia was the absolute worst, because sometimes I would only get like 2 hours of sleep at night, sometimes only like 4 hours of sleep at night. And I did sports. So it wasn't like I just wasn't exercising enough. It wasn't that I, wasn't trying to go to sleep. I was in bed. I was, there was no social media back then, so I didn't have like a phone to scroll on.
Yeah.
I couldn't do any of that. So I tried, I failed night after night. I'd get woken up after I would successfully go to sleep, like about every couple hours, maybe every hour. It just depends.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Yeah, it was super frustrating. So, and some people experience it way differently than others. Like maybe their insomnia isn't terribly bad, and most nights of the week they just can't go to sleep for a couple hours until finally they nod off. And other people are, really bad where they're waking up like many times.
I've definitely been through phases in my life where I've had insomnia, but not something I struggle with regularly, thankfully.
That is good. Yeah. I feel like, insomnia coincided with the periods of time when I was having more depressive and anxious symptoms. So, now not so much. Also, I feel like I've, done better at self-care and, getting my personal needs dialed in. One of the little pet projects that I'm doing off to the side right now is trying to ADHD proof my own life so that I can tell everybody how I've done it.
Yes.
And make like my own in-life accommodations so that I can function better And I'm still learning a lot about what I personally need in order to, just be normal. But I think I've gotten the sleep part dialed in way better than it was before. Hopefully it'll keep going in that
Good.
direction.
That's good.
Yeah.
For a
It
while,
is.
I was doing pretty good for a while, and I mean, honestly, the reminder still comes up on my phone to go to bed at 11, and but I just ignore it. But
Yeah.
but having a bedtime
Yeah.
reminder on your phone, I think, can be helpful for people who are trying to set a schedule and stick with it. It's good to have those reminders.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Mhm.
does sound like a good idea, because if you've got like a timer set on your phone for every night at a certain time, at least you can say that you had the reminder and you had it there, and then it's up to you to have the willpower to, go with
Exactly.
it.
You have to take the next step. Yeah, but because I get time
Yeah.
blindness, and if I'm just, doing something, or I'll get completely distracted, not realize what time it is, and
Yeah.
then, oh, time for bed.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Same.
Anything you want to add to that for insomnia, Nettie?
Oh, like because I was just joking around and I started singing Disturbia from Rihanna. And it's insomnia, and I basically just wrote out a whole verse while you guys were talking. So
Nice. I could see you thinking.
ADHD moment. That's perfect.
Yes, I love it.
I may record just that part and put it at the end of this episode. So
Ooh,
Dang.
yeah. Do it. She can't do shit about parodies.
Yeah, I love a good parody.
Oh, so nice. I like to I love working with parodies too. Every once in a while I'll just be like and trollishly write one out, and then I don't do
yes.
anything with it because I'm not like a singer. So
Yeah.
just and we're done.
Yes.
So
right. So closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts are in the vein of, what the hell can we do to prevent this crap from to make it better? How can we prevent it? So things we can do: follow a sleep schedule, figure out some time that actually works for you to go to bed, and then go to bed. So like some people who think that sleep is boring might benefit
is.
from something like setting a timer for when they're supposed to be in bed, and then setting another timer for when they would like to start doing whatever it is that they really want to do before they go to bed. So like, if you're somebody who knows that they read every single night, like I really love reading at the end of the night, absolutely love it, I might want to set a timer for myself, 10 p.m., start reading, 11 p.m., lights out. That's it. You get 1 hour.
That's
I feel
good.
like I have already explained on this podcast that timers don't work for me.
Why is that though?
I know.
Because I just ignore them.
Oh yeah, you don't respect the timer.
I do not respect the timer.
Yeah.
If I set too many, then I won't respect them either. I'll start ignoring them after a certain point. So I have to choose my battles on
That's
the
true.
alarms.
That is so true.
I'll ignore them at one point.
If there's 5 reminders that come up at once, you're not going to be looking at each one of them, Yeah, something will get dropped.
No. Even if I get more than like probably 6 or 7 reminders during the day on my phone, at one point I'm going to start ignoring them. Like that's too much. I need like a maximum of like 3 or 4, and I could still pay attention. But what I risk is, at first I'll pay attention to them, and over time I might start slacking off.
Yeah, I treat reminders and timers like suggestions.
Yeah.
Cool suggestion, phone.
Yep. Yeah. Fuck
What's
you.
that? My alarm to pick up my kids? Well, I'll take that into account.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll go, okay, that's my alarm to pick up my kids. Let me just finish this one thing I'm doing, and then I hyper-focus, and I totally forget. So, I mean, I just don't respect.
I hate it when that happens.
Every
I absolutely
time.
hate it. That's when I set a reminder that is too far away from the task. So like if I set a
Exactly.
30-minute reminder,
Mm-hmm.
no, 30 minutes is way too long.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need like 5 minutes.
There's a
5
sweet
minutes.
spot.
That'll put me in panic mode.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, too much
Then
time and
it'll
you're
get
like,
done.
oh, I've got plenty of time before I need to do that. I can just do this other thing really quick.
Isn't panic mode like the best tool in the
It is.
ADHD
Oh
arsenal?
man, you're never
It
you're
is.
so productive in panic mode.
I know. I can absolutely rule the world in panic
God,
mode.
I
Like
feel
my
like I
panic
could
mode is legendary.
like panic cleaning, like when someone's gonna come over to your house. God, it's amazing.
Oh,
it
there's
is.
this TikToker, I think his name is like Connor Wolf or something. I don't remember what his name is, but he does all these ADHD little TikToks, and
Mhm.
he's so funny. But he's like, he did this one that I saw recently where his friends called and say, hey, I'm coming over in an hour, and he's like, okay, and then he like panic cleans his entire apartment, and then like he calls his friend back, and he's like, hey, where are you? I thought you were coming over in an hour, and his friend is like, you told me to call you periodically every once in a while to tell you I was coming over in an hour so you'd clean your apartment.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he's like,
so good.
oh yeah, I did tell you that. I'm a genius.
That's so funny. I love it.
Perfect.
It's true though.
Yep.
It is.
Anytime you can trigger panic mode it's gonna be a good day.
Yep. Shit
so
is getting done.
another shit will get done.
Mm-hmm.
Another option for what can we do about this terrible sleep is taking melatonin or any other sleep aid that actually works for you. If you have like a circadian rhythm issue or insomnia or something that you're really struggling to control and need a little backup for, it's okay to take medications. I find that I'm really sensitive to a number of them, so I have to just kind of, pick those wisely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never really taken too many sleep medications, but melatonin definitely seems to help me.
Yeah. Do you take any sleep meds, Nettie?
No.
Yeah.
I told you, melatonin does not do wonderful things for me.
Well, I mean, other sleep meds, like other over the counter or.
No, they always make me feel funky. I don't.
You know what helps me is Benadryl. Sometimes that'll knock me out.
Oh, Benadryl makes me completely a zombie for the rest of after I wake up. I can't do it.
If I take it at night, I'm usually okay in the morning. Yeah.
No. The next day I am groggy and just
no, never mind then.
I'm really sensitive to medications.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I have to be careful with them, and certain ones I'm way more sensitive to than others. So I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps taking some time to relax before bed then, because that's my another suggestion.
Yeah, wind down.
Yeah, exactly. Actually take time. That kind of dovetails in with what I was saying earlier about scheduling time to do the things that you really want to do so that you avoid the bedtime revenge procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually feel like you did what you needed to do and go to sleep. Well, if you take time to relax before bed, for people who have struggles going to sleep, winding down, then you'll have a higher chance of success just sitting around in a dark room with, barely enough light to read your book, or maybe knit something, or finish a crossword.
Avoid blue light.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid blue light like the plague.
Yeah.
Yes,
Usually like a couple of hours before bedtime, I start to turn off lights around my house just to kind of set the atmosphere,
Oh, that's smart. I don't do that at all.
Oh, I don't know where I got that from. I don't even remember if it's something my parents did, but yeah, it's usually right around sunset. That's when I start to turn off a few select lights, but I have pretty sensitive eyes anyway, and so usually at nighttime I don't like to have too many bright lights on anyway.
Same. But nobody else in my family is like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
think about that for the future.
I've got green eyes, and I've heard that
Me too.
light colored eyes are sensitive.
So. Oh yeah, I have about 100 pairs of sunglasses randomly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But everywhere.
I have
5 pairs of sunglasses in each of my cars because if I don't have my sunglasses, I can't drive.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I've been known to survive summers and summers and summers without any sunglasses.
Wow.
I know, right? Like my browner eyes, they work in my favor, I guess, blocking out
Yeah.
some of that light. But also on the flip side, I really have shitty night vision. Like I cannot see in the dark. Like it takes my eyes a long time to adjust too. So like if I flip off the light, I will be completely blinded for a good amount of time. It feels like forever, but I know it isn't. So yeah, can't do that. Okay, so sort of similar. I know, I'm like, what the hell was I going to say? Sort of similar to relaxing before bed is setting aside time for meditation.
Meditation. Yeah, boring, but
Annette does
so
not
good.
like meditation.
But I think we've talked about this before, but guided meditations are where it's at. If you're like, no, meditation's too boring. I can't be left alone with my thoughts. I agree. It's hard and really boring, but guided meditations are awesome. There's a billion of them on YouTube.
And you had mentioned that like think of meditation as like mental training because it's really hard to focus. I think Ellen, you sent a link about that.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
It is like exercise. It's like exercise for your brain.
Yeah, because it's like successful people know how to control their urge to run away or escape difficult things. And so meditation, like forcing yourself to meditate, actually creates mental discipline.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. And
I remember that one.
Yeah, of which I have none.
Well, I have enough mental discipline to get me through meditations. I have never tried just free meditation where you just kind of plop your ass somewhere and then meditate for an unspecified amount of time.
That's called a nap.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it can turn into
I'm
one.
not sure if I can do that yet or not, but I've gotten to the point where I'm really good with guided meditations, even a little bit more minimal guided meditations. I'm starting to get like dial down the amount of control I need over that.
Like some of the guided ones have really long pauses in the middle, so they let you practice being by yourself.
Yeah, and then they'll have these nice little reminders.
Up and get a snack.
Oh yeah. You can always, if you're prone to getting up and going to get a snack, just meditate naked, and not only will you not want to eat, you won't even want to leave your room. So
you're stuck.
Oh, yep, no, I know a lot of people who are exhibitionists, and it's fine. But for people who do want to look at guided meditations, Jennifer suggested the Insight Timer application.
Yeah.
And I downloaded it and I've tried it. I mean, some people's voices are really annoying, but
yes.
I'll put a link to it in the description. So if you guys want to try guided meditations, then
Insight Timer is it's a free app, and we are not being paid to promote it. Just FYI, no. It's just something that I've used for years.
Unless they want to pay us.
No, unless, and if you do want to pay us, I mean, we're not going to stop you. So, I mean, yeah. Just saying is all. Mm-hmm. We also like random food boxes being sent.
Edible arrangements.
Really excellent tea. Yes. Mm-hmm. Edible arrangements. Yes. Nice tea packages. Yes. Yes.
Oh, a nice cup of tea before bed could be helpful, by the way. That helps me sleep. If I can't sleep sometimes.
Like Sleepy Brand, Sleepy Time by Celestial Seasoning. Okay, can we keep going?
Oh my God. Funny story. I actually do have that in my house because me and my kids use it.
It's good tea.
I don't find that it's not overbearing. It is tasty enough, but it really works for the kids. Like they love it. And they'll be like, "Oh, Mom, I'm not quite tired yet, but it's bedtime. Could you make me some tea?" And I'd be like, "Yep, I'm on it."
Even if it's a placebo, even if it's a placebo effect, that shit works.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We have gotta, haul
Okay.
in this bitch here.
All right. Let's haul ass. Get the rest of this done, guys. Oh yeah.
Wrap
So
this bitch up.
Just list the last of them.
all right. So
Rapid fire.
if you're taking stimulants, take them in the morning, not at night.
Yep.
Pro tip.
Good tip.
Also, always go to bed at the same goddamn time.
No.
Don't fuck up and go to bed earlier or later, especially not later.
That's unrealistic.
I don't know. I made the last part up. Avoid screen time late in the day. Just don't look at your phone, damn it. It's
no, throw your phone away.
Yeah, throw it away. It's not important. Zuckerberg doesn't need more money. He doesn't. We do not need to be funding like psychopath billionaires. Just throw the phone.
Burn it all down. What?
Burn it.
Yeah.
Burn it.
What kind of podcast is this?
Avoid. I know, right? Don't burn anything down. We're not legally liable for any of your actions.
We like peace. That's right. Yeah.
Avoid stressful situations late in the day.
Fuck you!
I mean,
do you not have fucking kids? What is wrong with that suggestion?
Stressful situations late in the day. I don't know anyone who like actively looks for
the stressful situation.
Yeah.
Shit, like
nobody wants a stressful situation late in the day. If they happen, it's not on purpose. It's not that we're looking for them.
No.
Oh, it's time for my aggressive behavior time.
Yeah.
Go find the stressor.
So on the surface, that suggestion sounds like complete horseshit. But so let me break down the thought pattern behind this, because obviously that's going to get called out as the worst hot tip of the year. So what I mean by avoiding stress later in the day is not that you can control everybody else. You are not psychic. You don't know what's going to happen to you. Life happens and shitty things happen late at night sometimes. And that is just life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have kids. They do stupid things in the dark. It's, it's going to happen sometimes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean is, if you know full well that you've got to have a hard discussion with somebody, don't schedule it the hour before you're supposed to go to sleep. Do not do it to yourself.
Yeah.
If you have a really, like stressful day the next day and you know it, do everything you can to de-stress that situation by getting shit ready beforehand so that you're not going to bed thinking about the stress that you're about to have the next day because you already feel like you have control to a certain degree. Or like if you know somebody in your general area, whether it's like, the next apartment over or maybe the next house down the road or whatever, who is just a drama person. And they're an unrepentant drama person, and all they do is eat, live, breathe, sleep, and shit drama, then don't go near them within an hour of your bedtime. Just don't do it. They're going to raise your blood pressure. So yeah, that's what I mean.
I know this is running long, but I also have to point something out there because like avoiding a hard conversation that you have to have. Like, there are some of us who have extreme anxiety, and if we can't sleep with that, if we have to have a conversation, it's better to have it before your bedtime than to run through the thousands of possibilities of how that conversation could go and never go to sleep in the first place. So I would just like to state that is a thing.
Yeah. Right. So if possible, try to schedule this discussion for much earlier than your bedtime. So that you don't have, not only do you not have to wallow in it for the rest of the night and like try to play guessing games about what terrible, horrible thing's going to happen tomorrow, but you also won't be doing it within an hour of your bedtime. Yeah, you want to set aside that hour before bed as like sacred time when it's like no fucky time, except for the right fucky time.
Just bring it up. Bring it up at the dinner table.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, stressful meals are great for your health. So
she said that with sarcasm.
Yep. Another suggestion is to well, Annette already said this. Make your bedroom as dark and calming as you possibly can because science, light hits your eyes and you can't sleep. That's it. End of story. You know,
it starts making the wakey chemicals.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And don't have a stressful surrounding. So if clutter stresses you out, put the clutter somewhere else, like, you know, in a completely different room. It doesn't have to be in your room.
Throw a blanket over it. Yeah, just cover it up.
Yeah, everybody has a doom room. Just create a doom room in your house.
That's what it's for. Yep.
Exactly. And of course, this is the one that doctors always tell people to do. Increase the amount of exercise that you have during the daytime and well before your bedtime.
Yeah,
because
we know. Exercise
gives you more. I know, exercise. It gives you more energy. It lowers your blood pressure. It's excellent for your cardiovascular health. It'll literally add years to your life. God damn it.
Why is it so boring? Anyway, that's a different episode.
Yeah, why is exercise so boring? Probably because you're not doing the right kind of exercise for you, is my guess.
I know.
I feel like there's maybe a good kind for anybody out there. Like some people it's yoga and it's very low key. Some people it's dancing because that's fun. Some people it's swimming. Some people it's basketball.
I downloaded this like zombie run app and it's like it's like this guided run where it tells you when there's zombies chasing you and you have to run faster.
Oh, that'd be good exercise.
Oh my gosh. I saw that app and I was so curious. I was like, oh, I don't know. It might be a little, I didn't know if it'd be too stressful or not because I also have the confounding contributor of PTSD. So sometimes when I run, I will actually feel more anxiety because I'm running.
Oh, dang.
which is why I often do not run because I feel like it's raising my cortisol levels to levels where it's not even worth it to run anymore.
Yeah, your body is just like, are we in danger?
If you don't have PTSD, it's pretty fun. So
yeah, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So if you don't have PTSD, get the zombie run app.
But okay, but so exercise can help with your sleep, basically, is what I was saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, because it gives you energy during the day for you to burn, and then once you've burned off the mental energy, and you've already burned off the physical energy, which is really important for ADHD people. We have got to move ourselves, and if we do not move ourselves, bad things happen. So we got to move more. So the exercise is extremely important for that, but then you naturally get tired after a certain amount of time after exercising. So, you know, then you get the sleepy time effect. So that's why you want to do it. Like if you're doing it within an hour of trying to sleep, no. Do it much earlier.
Okay. And what else? Is that it?
And that's it. Those are my suggestions.
All right.
Nice.
Good job.
Yay.
Okay, let's close this out.
Sleep is boring, but necessary.
Sleep is wonderful and necessary.
Sleep is sometimes boring, sometimes wonderful, and also necessary.
Yep. We agree on that. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, people
get you some sleep.
Get you some sleep. Do what you gotta do to sleep.
Yeah. And let us know, are you a night owl or are you a morning person?
Yeah, that would be a really interesting thing to take note of because, I mean, ADHD people are supposedly more often night owls, but I wonder how many of us are morning people.
Yeah,
instead.
So hit us up. We got Facebook, we have Twitter, I'm on Reddit as The Net, Instagram. Find us. You can find us at bazeltov.com or bazeltovpodcast.com.
No, I think it's just bazeltov.com.
No, bazeltov.com?
Okay. It's bazeltov.com.
We fancy.
Yep, it's bazeltov.com. Yes. Just slide that into your URL bar, press enter
on the World Wide Web.
Slide it in.
And let us
slip
know.
it into the World Wide Web.
That's
and then
right.
we'll slip our gratitude into you.
So beautiful.
Kraken.
Disgusting. So thank you guys for listening. I know this is probably like the weirdest one we've done yet, but
sleep is
I
weird
also
though.
feel like in that regard, we're just hitting our stride. So thanks for being along for our learning curve on learning how to put together podcasts that are entertaining, at least. And Basil Tov.
Basil Tov.
Basil Tov.